Good morning, YouTube. This is PC747 with the Next Up YouTube channel. And my YouTube channel is geared to talking about tech. And this morning, I'm going to take the opportunity to, talk about something that I saw on the news, as well as bring out a couple of questions and just have a good discussion this morning. Now, this is going to be a short, I say podcast, but a short little cast going on. And now, real quick, I'm using this opportunity to test out something. So I'm actually doing this on my Chromebook, and I'm using this app called BandLab. Now, what made me decide to check out this app? I was Googling, I wanted to see, was there an Android version of GarageBand? So normally I record a lot of my YouTube videos and my podcast using the GarageBand on my MacBook Pro. But lately I noticed my MacBook Pro, the speaker has been sounding muffled. And I've been Googling, looking it up, and it sounds like, the speaker has basically been blown out. And I'm looking at this as a good opportunity to open up my MacBook and make some upgrades to it and do some repairs to it. But until I get an opportunity to, buy the parts and get it sent to me, as well as have the time to actually do it, I wanted to use this chance to say, hey, it may be a good opportunity just to try something else, try to see if I could actually do this on a Chromebook. And I bring that up because I know a lot of people that are trying to, create content, and they do not have a lot of resources. They don't have a powerful computer at home or a MacBook or anything like that. And Chromebooks being so cheap, it would easily be something that someone can pick up and really get to use it. Now, I've actually done a video in the past saying me recording a podcast on my Chromebook, and I was using a different app. But I really wanted to try this out because, like GarageBand, you have the ability to add different interfaces. And what is different with this particular app that I'm using now on my Chromebook is the exact same interface that I'm able to plug into my MacBook Pro. I'm actually able to plug into my Chromebook. And it is really, or at least right now, it seems like it's doing a good job. Now, I did a little test recording real quick, like a 30-second, where I just said a couple things and listened to it, and it sounded pretty good. So hopefully, with me doing a more longer version of this podcast, for, I don't know, hopefully, it may be about 15, 20 minutes. We'll see how long it goes. It performs well. But for those out there that are looking at some way to record a podcast or record some audio, you're not looking to spend a lot of money, if you got a Chromebook, check this out. Because right now, with this current landscape, a lot of people are, still locked down, shut down, are relying on the government to provide some stimulus or unemployment for those who are out of job or out of work. You're not unable to work at the house. So, you're looking to kind of find ways to save money. And even those of us who are employed, right now we see the writing on the wall with the economy, and we don't know if this is going to be a long-term thing where, companies later on end up feeling the hurt from the economy being slowed down, and then later on you see some effects of the current job or companies say, hey, look, this is still unsustainable, so we need to cut more heads. So for a lot of people, we are just looking to find ways to save money. But I'll say this. One of the things I've noticed with us being on lockdown, I think it may be, in a way, kind of a good thing for some businesses. And let me explain what I mean by that. So my gym, I got a chance to, in Georgia, they opened up the gym back up. And my gym is a 24-hour gym. Now, it's not like one of them Anytime Fitness. It's actually a Gold's Gym. And a 24-hour Gold's Gym with upstairs track, it's a really big gym. In that gym, you literally can fit at least, I want to say 3 or 4 of these small Anytime Fitnesses in there. And what I loved about this gym is one, the fact that it's 24 hours, and two, it have pretty much all the equipment you can even, think about having. So I love that gym. And before we even had this coronavirus thing, a lot of times I will go to the gym at around midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And when I'm going at that time, there are rarely anyone there. If I see two or three people there, it's considered a full gym for that period because there really are not a lot of people there. And even when you do have, let's say, two or three people, most of the time, because the way this gym is kind of built, you have like one section that's toward the front of the gym that is all machine weights. Now, normally during the peak period, you'll see a lot of your seniors using that. And if you go towards the rear, you have all your cardio equipment, and you continue on. You have your free weights area, which, like I say, gets a very large area. And then there's like another compartment where it's not machine, but it's more using I guess it is kind of machine weights as well. And if you go upstairs, you have your upstairs track, and you have a lot more resources to use. So normally when I'm going to the gym at around 1 o'clock, it is really easy to keep your distance. In fact, before we had this coronavirus thing, people was keeping their social distance anyway. Because of the simple fact that, look, that time in the morning, you got your earbuds in, it's a good time to really be in your own zone. If I see someone in one area of the gym where they look like they may be supersetting, I don't see any reason to go to that area. I will be able to go to another area and still get pretty much any workout I want to get done. And a lot of times when I first go to the gym anyway, I go upstairs to the track upstairs, and I probably do some walking, jogging, whatever to warm up. And, depending on how I'm feeling that day, sometimes I may just make it a cardio workout. And other days, I'll go ahead and do maybe some type of CrossFit uh, workout of the day, or just do some free weights. I kind of have an idea what I'm going to do. And a lot of times, I allow myself to be very flexible depending on what's going on at the gym. Again, if I go to the gym and I see someone, upstairs on the track, like maybe one or two people up there, then I'm probably not going to go upstairs in the track. I'm going to do, some free weights, and I'll do some supersets with that, mixed with maybe some jumper jacks or something like that. So before we even had the coronavirus, I was already doing that anyway. So it was not too much for me to continue to do that now. Now, why I said this may be a good opportunity for businesses during the lockdown. Now, I would say going back to the gym, they really did a good job of fixing that gym fixing it up. Now that gym wasn't like wrecked. They did a good job, period, of keeping that gym up. But because you didn't have to worry about your employees dealing with the customers at 24. Well, it wasn't really 24/7, but throughout the work period, you can actually take those employees and get some of the odd stuff that they need to get done, some kind of fix stuff like painting, cleaning up, and this are little things that they needed to get done that they weren't able to do during their regular business hours because again they were so busy dealing with customers and all the day to day. So yeah, that couple of weeks, or really I guess almost a month now, that the gym was completely shut down. It looks like they took that time to, repair lights or paint up the walls, to clean up the gym and reorganize it in a way that I'm like, man, this gym really looks good, and it really needs the time to have this done. You can see the outside signs where bulbs were burned out. Now they was able to get that kind of taken care of, and the gym really looks good. And I'm hoping that a lot more other companies are taking this time during this lockdown period to use this time to renovate. And I'm not talking about going out there throwing a lot of money, but there are probably some things that needed to be done in the business that you couldn't get done because of, again, you had customers running in and out. And before this whole coronavirus thing, we had a really busy economy. And people were pretty much shopping and doing everything they could. And I can understand that, you basically, as a company, spent a lot of their time catering to the customer, which you needed to do, what you're supposed to do. And because of that, you didn't have the time to be able to deal with things. You said, man, if we had time to we would like to get this painted, we would like to get this organized, we really like to do this, and you just didn't have the time. And this, I think, is a good opportunity for companies out there to use this as a way to get that done. Because again, when you do finally open up for good and we're back to normal, I'm thinking for a lot of customers, you go in there and you see your favorite store and they decide to throw some paint where they need to do, they organize it where they should have, and you'll feel like you entered a brand new store. Like, this is new, and it can offer just a new, refreshing excitement for the customers, and especially at a time where people are just so or can't wait to get back out. Now, speaking of getting back out, being a tech fan, I have a question for you guys. So, once we're back to normal, and by back to normal, I mean, look, the fear of the coronavirus has been lower. We're not worried about, dying here or getting so sick that we're going to be hospitalized or there's no way of getting treated. We're back to the economy being where, we're not worried about being laid off. Our bills are caught up. Money's coming back in, and we have money to spend. What are the tech gadgets you're looking forward to buying most? And this question actually came as or was inspired by a question I saw on Twitter where Lecrae, someone I follow, and he asked a question, when they open up the country or open up your state, what are the things you're looking forward to doing most, or what's the first thing you're going to do? So for me, here's the first gadget I'm gonna buy: the OnePlus 8 Pro. OnePlus has really impressed me over the past couple of years, and with Google been continually slacking with the pixels, this is the phone that I'm now looking forward to at the beginning of the year. Outside of Samsung phones. Now, for me, Samsung phones, I look at them more as a trendsetter. I look and see what they put out there. I'm excited about them stepping up the innovation, but I'm normally not going to buy a Samsung phone. The company or the phone that I'm actually looking to buy right now are OnePlus phones. In fact, you can go ahead and say I'm basically Team OnePlus right now, because for the past couple of years, they have continually stepped up their game here. Do they still need to fix their cameras? I'm pretty sure that when it comes to how they compare to something like a Pixel or an iPhone, they still have ways to go. But overall, I've already been impressed with what they've been able to do, even in the camera department this far. And by impressed, when I installed a Gcam mod, I'm able to get the pictures I want. So I'm okay with it. And I look forward to actually picking the device up. And for me, the one I'm going to get is going to be OnePlus 8 Pro 12GB model. So I'm going to be getting a ball style model because I like to sit there and buy a phone that have the extra RAM, even though I know I don't need it. Because, hey, if they're going to offer me a phone with all the specs like that, I'm going to take advantage of it. The other device I'm looking forward to, now this is not a phone. I'm actually looking forward to the PlayStation 5. I missed out on a PlayStation 4 because it was during a period where I just started with my new company. I decided to go back to school to get my bachelor's degree, and basically I didn't want any distractions. And after that, I said, look, I need to pay off my loan for going back to school. So again, I didn't want to buy a gaming system where I'm going to spend time playing with the gaming system and not have the motivation to do overtime. So basically, I did everything I could to keep all the distractions out of my life so I can work this overtime and I can get these bills. And by bills, I mean my student loan paid off so I can get out of debt. So that was my focus there. And about time I decided to come back around and get into gaming, I was so far behind with it that I just need to get caught up. And two, I didn't like the whole quote